So just in short, EcoWatt is on the one hand a traditional renewable energy using Web3 applications to get more and more people involved in supporting climate impact, climate action, because that's what we need the most. In order to avoid even more climate catastrophes, we need more and more people getting involved in climate action and to support all different projects, starting from solar to reforestation to energy efficiency. We have to push this on such a global scale, it's almost unbelievable. But otherwise, definitely we would have a very bad 2030.
Very nice. You know, I want to give a shout out. One of the guys, we talked a lot about this around trees and planting trees. I got a friend of mine from Puerto Rico. His name's Stephen Cutter. Dude loves trees more. Every time you talk to him, he's like, trees, we need to plant trees. Let's create trees. Trees. I was like, dude, you're talking so much trees, you're making me hate trees. Calm down on the trees. So it's just fun. He's a good dude, though. His heart's in the right place. He wants to plant lots and lots of trees. So I like this. Let's talk about EcoWatt. So you got the EWX token, it looks like. How does this... the blockchain, what you're building, how does that whole ecosystem work with the token and what it all does? Because I know people are interested about that. The people who are tuning in typically are like, what does it do? Tell me about the token.
Yeah, the token, the EWX, is basically based on three bases. It's on the one hand the environment, where we are funding directly impact projects and carbon reduction projects. You have the financial part, the token value appreciation of the token. You can stake, you get rewards, and you have access to real carbon credits. This is also one of the big differences to probably almost all of the different carbon credit marketplaces on the internet, which are taking carbon credits from whomever, not necessarily proven carbon credits, and trying to sell them. Here we have only carbon credits from projects which have been developed by EcoWatt, or at least co-developed by EcoWatt. So we know the projects in and out, and we know that really this project is existing. We know exactly how many carbon credits are generated every year. And these carbon credits are then connected also to the EWX token. And in addition, you have also the social impact, because EWX is not only an environmental token. With our projects, especially with reforestation and building solar power plants, we are creating jobs. And just recently, some statistics came out that if we just keep the minimum of solar power plant development for the next five years, this would create over 24 million jobs in the next 4 or 5 years. So it's also a huge impact also in the job market.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. You know, so you're creating jobs as well. So there's benefits as well, which is awesome. Now, what are you guys doing currently to ensure further growth for not just the token, but the overall ecosystem?
Yeah, the whole ecosystem is based, as I said, on solar power project and reforestation projects. And the revenues from these projects also go back into new projects. So we are constantly kind of, as much as possible, self-finance the process of the pipeline of further projects. Of course, always looking and require additional financing because you have to pay debts and everything, and of course you have to pay the profits to the token holders. But basically, we are constantly increasing, therefore also our project pipeline. So whatever revenues we have, part of the revenues goes back into developing again new projects.
Yeah, I love that. And then, you know, right now, how does EcoWatt bridge the gap between blockchain and the real world climate impact?
Yeah, that's the idea of the EcoWatt token of the EWX, that using a blockchain solution with free technologies, combining it with real world projects like solar power projects, reforestation, or energy efficiency projects. We are combining this, and through that we are giving the the investors, the users of the EcoWatt token, a very simple approach and this very simple access to participate in climate impact.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. Let's what stage are you at right now with EcoWatt? Like, how far along are you on your roadmap? And maybe tell us a little bit about your current state and where you see you guys heading.
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, we have at the moment a little bit over 12 gigawatt of solar and wind power projects in development. Out of this, around 300 are now just before ready to build status, so that will be started this year. Probably by the end of the year, another 400 megawatts. And what we are planning is when every year just scaling up and having at least between 1 to 3 gigawatts a year in renewable energy implemented. But in addition, what we are looking is also to start from this March, April, to planting large quantities trees. We had pilot project in Uganda 2 years ago, where we had a pilot project planting, which was quite good. And this we are now scaling up not only to do this in Africa, but also in Eastern Europe, in Central Asia and Southeast Asia. And the plan is to plant up to 200 million trees until 230 in order to cool down a little bit the climate.
Wait a second. Did you say 1.21 gigawatts? Great Scott, Roger. That was a no? Yeah. Back to the Future reference there.
They did not get it.
For example,
that was the worst delivery ever. It just fell out like, what is this guy talking about? Maybe if I had a big white hair wig, maybe that would have dropped better. Let's ask about this then. So how are users benefiting from this EcoWatt token, the token that you're generating? Like, how is it utilized within the ecosystem and benefiting the users? Like, what do they do with it? Why do they need it? Are they able to trade those for carbon credits or something? How does that?
Yes, you can stake the token in specific projects, and you will see on each project how many carbon credits this project is generating. So depending how much EWX tokens you are putting into this project pool, you will participate from the overall amount of carbon credits which are generated. But in addition, users will also, of course, participate in the appreciation of the token and then the overall project revenues.
Yeah, I love that. And then, walk us through, as we're getting almost to the end of our segment here. Walk us through. We have about 6 more minutes, so we're good. Walk us through. What partnerships are in place with governments or corporations to scale the climate impact? Currently with you guys, or what future partnerships are coming?
Yeah, we have in development several partnerships with large multinational companies, mostly all because got burned with carbon credits in the last few years. But we are also developing, especially in Southeast Asia and in Central Africa, also cooperation with governments to put more and more solar energy on the ground, because one of the biggest problems is also that in the areas where you don't have solar energy, people are using wood and kerosene or diesel to cook or for heating. And this generates almost the same CO2 emission as the whole European Union.
Wow.
Or it's half of the US. So by starting reducing this, with this you will also very, very much reduce the emissions which are just blown out in the air on a daily basis.
I want to ask this because I've always had this question. You might know the answer, you might not, and that's okay. Is what's the lifespan of those solar panels? Because it seems like whenever they're done, that's wasteful, right? And so it's almost like it's not a perfect machine yet. So it doesn't. Whenever it's done, it does woof, and now it's gone and it's zero emissions. So like there is still pollution with solar panels, right?
No, let's say so. The utility scale commercial lifespan is between 20 to 25 years. Of course, between that, you will have maybe occasionally some panels you have to replace, but in general, everything is working fine for 20 to 25 years. The only thing what happens that after 25 years, you have probably a 20 to 25% capacity reduction, but still the solar panels are still working.
That's really good. I want to ask this. So I have a domain name. I got this years ago. I haven't done anything with it. I own Carbon Cryptos because I was like, ooh, carbon credits are going to be nice. So how do I create a shit coin and convert them for carbon credits?
Now with a shitcoin, you will have difficulties to get carbon credits.
So like, you're going to get some carbon credits, you guys. Hey, last question over there, Roger. You got any other questions? Or Irina, do you have any questions for Thomas right now? This is your space right here. You might have a good one for him.
Thomas, so what's your plan? Like, what's your roadmap for this year? What are maybe some of the most important events you're going to? Maybe non-crypto. Also, actually, non-crypto is more interesting for me. Like, what are the industries? There are companies, even countries that are more keen on being educated about this technology and adopt this technology.
Yeah, companies, we are looking mostly at agricultural food processing companies and logistic companies because we have the biggest problem with becoming green. On the other hand, regarding countries, we are looking mostly at Central Asia, down to India, Central Africa, where we not only will start doing reforestation, but also solar projects to communities which are far away from any utility in order to get them renewable energy.
With that said, we are coming to the end of the show, so I want to kind of give you the floor. As you talk about the roadmap for this year and what that looks like. Let the viewers know, one, where they can learn more information about you, where they should follow you and get the most updates right now, and then leave us with also what we should be paying attention to for the company, not just for this year, but in general, what you guys are building for the future.
Mm-hmm. So all the information you can get on our website. It's EcoWatt.io, and you can follow us on Twitter, which is EcoWatt Official, where we will be constantly posting news and information about climate change. Regarding roadmap, what we are looking is to, as I mentioned before, start a reforestation project. One is in Mongolia, about 50,000 hectares to plant trees, and then several projects also in Central Africa. Regarding solar power, we are planning to have around 700 megawatt of solar power under construction by the end of the year. And then from next year on, we want to add every year at least 1 to 2 gigawatt in different locations in Central Africa and Central Asia to in India. Yes, regarding how to go forward, the main problem is just to make more and more awareness. Because on the other hand, also when we meet people at conferences or even in a bar, when we start talking about climate change, almost everybody is asking, yes, I understand that this is an urgent issue. I would be interested to do something, but I have no idea how I can do something. So most importantly is just doing more and more PR, getting the word out more and more to as much as possible, so that really people see that basically it's not so difficult to get involved into climate impact projects, and it's basically very simple, and specifically through crypto it's even easier. And it doesn't require a huge amount of money, because that's also kind of a misconception by a lot of people. They think, I would like to do something, but I cannot because I don't have tens of thousands of euros or dollars. That's not necessary. Even if somebody is just putting a few $100 or euros, or even just €100, it's not about the one individual. It's about that it should be the masses who are coming and understand that something has to be done.
Very nice. The website is EcoWatt.io, WATT, not what, but watt. EcoWatt.io. EcoWatt Official is their X handle. Also, they are in the middle of a token raise. The pre-sale is available until the 24th. So you can go to ecowatt.io/EWX. You can see that on their Twitter, their X, and go check that out. And we want to thank you so much for being on the show today with us, Thomas, as well, Arena. Thank both of you for coming on. It's always nice to see the friendly faces. And Mr. Roger, great working with you today, good sir.
It's
Come on,
always
bring us home today, good sir.
It's always a pleasure, my man. I mean, Arena, this was, always a pleasure. You had a lot of great takes, obviously, because this is your industry right here. So, I am not surprised with the amazing takes you had today. So thank you so much for your time, Thomas. It's always amazing to have influential founders like yourself that are coming and changing our industry and trying not just to change an industry, but the world, right? This is so much bigger than just blockchain, Web3,
Exactly.
or, so what people have to understand, this isn't just a Web3 project. This is a project that is changing globally, the world, climate change, things that matter, things that are going to affect our future kids, our generations, our kids' kids, right? If we don't pay attention to this right now, we're going to have a very wide awakening, and it's not going to be a good one. So pay attention to what Thomas and his team are building. Pay attention to what Irina and her community is trying to change and educate people about these ecosystems. So with that said, Travis, it's a pleasure. My name is Roger.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please to be safe. Anyways, with that said, Mario Fall Show. This is the Roundtable. We'll see you guys shortly. Have a good one.
Thank you.